with us last year, you remember that we had Marty Eggers on piano, which was such a treat. This year we actually have our regular piano player with us, Ethan Lineman, on that piano. And he features in a lot of old styles of piano playing, some wonderful barrel house playing, and we're going to let him take it away here on the tune.
Guys, it's on. I'm going to do for you guys an old barrel house tune from 1929. It's a piece called The 31 Blues by a fellow named Bob Call. It's a great train imitation. This was the only solo side, but it's a real cool one. So here's The 31 Blues.
We have so many tunes that we want to showcase that I was just joking that I'm just gonna cut each one a little shorter, fit them all in. But I won't, I promise. We'll do it like we do it. Well, folks, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We do have another set at 7, and we have so many more tunes by a lot of old female singers that I really am excited to share with you, so I hope you're all here for that set as well. It's time to sweeten it up a little bit. We're going to do an old tune called Got a Mind to Ramble. have for you, this was a number that was done later on by a fellow who got his start in St. Louis with a band called the Mountain City Blues Blowers. It was a great hot band featuring kazoo and hot comb. And for real, go ahead and check them out. They're a great band, the Mountain City Blues Blowers. His name was Red McKenzie, and we're gonna do his version of Murder in the Moonlight. It's love in the first degree. Start these next tunes, I'd like to introduce some of these other musicians up here that I haven't yet. We have Richard Trellis on the upright bass. And we also have TJ Miller here with us on banjo and guitar. TJ's another great band leader in St. Louis, and we're real happy to have him in town. In fact, he's started some great projects recently. The most recent one, which is now getting about, what, 2 years now? 2 or 3 years old, so it's not that new anymore, but, well, it is. It's actually very new because he's always bringing these new songs and really working out wonderful arrangements of old St. Louis jazz bands. So I want him to take it away here on this next tune and introduce the song to you all. TJ.
Thank you. How about Miss Jubilee, everybody? Well, leading up to Biggs Fest, Ethan asked if I would do a transcription of a song, which I have a 78 record for, and we listened to it in my living room. It's Benny Moten's Elephant Wobble. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with Benny Moten, the great jazz and swing artist from Kansas City, but many people don't realize that he started his recording career in St. Louis in 1923. And in St. Louis, if you so much as passed through and sneezed, we're going to claim you as part of our history. So we're going to claim Benny Moten's Elephant Wobble as part of our great St. Louis recording history. I had a lot of fun transcribing it. It's a great blues tune. It fits very well with this set. There's some interesting things to note. But mostly, I just want you to listen out for the fun special effects we're going to put in the middle of the song. And don't think we just messed up horribly, it's supposed to be there. I'll just assemble this. There we go. Picture elephants galloping. One, two, one, two, three, one.
Okay, I think so. I think we're gonna end with a nice groovy swinging tune for you instead of something real hot, because that was pretty hot. Oh, sold it to the devil. Right now, this actually goes back to Clara Smith. Once again, this is a number that she first did in the 20s called "Sold It to the Devil," and it has this whole verse about, you know, she's just so frustrated with her man and he's doing everything wrong and she just can't take it anymore. But she doesn't really want to leave him. So she accidentally meets up with the devil and he's like, well, give me your soul and I'll make everything work out for you. And in fact, nothing works out. So just the rest of her life is fairly ruined. And this is a tune that she did by Merlene Johnson about 10 years later, the same tune called "Sold It to the Devil." One, two, oh, 1, 2, 3. I sold my soul, sold it to the devil, and my heart has turned to stone. I sold my soul, sold it to the devil, and he won't
And we want to thank you all for being here this afternoon at the Rhythm City Casino. Let's hear it for Big Spiderback. One time, everybody. Big Slims. This next group, to close out our set this afternoon at the Rhythm City Casino, is the NOLA Jazz Band out of Des Moines. This is their first Bix Festival. Number one. Here they are. Welcome to the Bix. They started a short stint, a little bit of a residency at a Des Moines place called the Des Moines Social Club, but that's been going on for 4.5 years, so much for a short stint. They must love them there. They feature a lot of early New Orleans jazz, which you'll be hearing today, but they also like to play some of the grittier tunes. We're going to find out what that sounds like too. It's going to be a lot of fun. And they also like to cover current tunes with their own jazz style. You're in for a treat with this group for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the NOLA Jazz Band from Des Moines.
No, darling, everything you say sounds like a trombone. Now listen, I'm trying to tell you something really important, but every time I say something, you keep interrupting me with your whompy sound. Now listen, I ain't trying to phone you. I hope you ain't sick, but I'm checking up. Goodbye. Well, nice to know you. You were my big kid, but I'm checking out. Goodbye. You tried another trick. You found a new chick, but I was too slick. I'm in the know. You gotta go. The game is all over. It's too bad I'm blessed. Had to miss out like this. I'm checking out. Goodbye. Waiting for that deal to come through with Verizon for, better reception with Verizon instead of on the phone with Sprint. Can you hear me now type deal. Anybody from Verizon, talk to me later. We're so glad to be back here for day 2 of Bix, and let's hear it again for Miss Jubilee. What a treat, am I right? So fun. So fun. This next one, speaking of Women in Jazz is a Bessie Smith tune. And of all the narratives that women have sung in jazz, traditional jazz, you hear all the stories. Sold your soul to the devil. Well, this one is also about the devil, but it's more, don't even mess, because that devil's gonna get you. So it's a curse. If you hear this coming in your direction with maybe a wagging finger, you just start running, okay? Because this woman is not pleased, and she's gonna let you know about it. Now there's a long, long road that has no turning. And there's a fire that's always, always burning. Mr. Devil down below, the pitchfork in his hand. Yeah, where you gonna go? Darling, do you understand? I said the devil's gonna get you. Oh, the devil's gonna get you. Oh, the devil's gonna get you where you're carrying on. The devil's gonna get you. The devil's gonna get you. The devil's gonna get you. Just as sure as you can both. I tell you what, you go away, you stay for weeks on your doggone spree. Come back home, you get in my bed, and then you turn your back on me. I said the devil's gonna get you. Oh, the devil's gonna get you. The devil's gonna get you where you're carrying on. Thank you. Now, we're going to go right from the devil to Dylan. This next tune is not by a famous jazz composer, but we're going to look at this storied folk singer's song through a jazz lens. This is a song by Bob Dylan. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, if you don't know by now. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, you'll never do somehow. When the rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use turning on your light I never know. And it ain't no use turning on your light, it'll never do somehow. I'm sitting here do or say, trying to make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway. Don't think twice, it's alright. Calling out my name, I can't hear you anymore. I'm thinking and wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. She wanted my love, but I gave her my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey babe, where I'm bound, goodbye's too good a word, so I'll just say fairly well. Could have done better, do or say, could have done better, but I don't mind. Just kind of waste my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. Don't think twice, it's alright. Thank you. We're done, and we're just going to keep that vibe going. So this next song is, I say, it's very serious, and I think you'll understand immediately once I start singing that this is my very truest song coming from the depths of my heart with all sincerity. So I just can't wait to share it with you at this very special, sacred time. That's all I'm going to say. in his briefs on CNN. I knew that he was not like ordinary men. Head over heels I fell for his shuck and jive. Dick Cheney, ain't he the sexiest man alive? He's like a barrel of oil, he's crude and yet refined. He makes me feel like I've been wine-dined and strip-mined. His heart is broken, but I know he'll survive. Dick Cheney, ain't he the sexiest man alive? The briefcase, the trench coat, super spy, silent. You tell him, honey, smile, he says,
I am smiling.
he's carefree, he's hair-free, you get the idea. He's got a good case of Sean Connery. I want to hear him whisper in that monotone. Why don't we do some exploratory drilling of our own? Get lubricated and go out for a drive. Dick Cheney, ain't he the sexiest man alive? Play it, boys. The trench coat, super spy style. You tell him, honey, smile, he says, I am smiling. He's carefree, he's hair-free, you get the idea. He's got a good case of Sean Connery. And after dinner, we can go back to my place, where he can tap my phone and shoot me in the face. His heart is broken, but I know he'll survive. Dick Cheney, ain't he beautiful and brainy? Second only to Saddam Hussein, he's the sexiest man. Oh, man alive. And he's so low. Our arrangement of an original tune, we can sadly take complete credit for that song, but that's called Dick Cheney. This next one is a fun Louis Prima tune that our bass player, Blake Shaw, is going to take over singing, and I'm going to do a little bit of backup. But it's amazing, he can do two things at one time, play bass and sing. I'm just like, go Blake. So this is Banana Split for My Baby.
Yes, here's my party trick. The only trick I can do. Two things at one time.
Only these two things.
Are you ready? Banana split for my baby, a glass of plain water for me. Banana split for my baby, a glass of plain water for me. Dispense some man, if you please. Said my gal, miss a calorie. Banana split for my baby, and a glass of plain water for me. Flip back the lid, scoop everything in sight. Make it a rainbow of red, brown, and white. Chocolate chip and everything that's nice. Tutti frutti and spumoni twice. Man, a split for my baby, and a glass of plain water for me. Spread the cream for at least an hour. Pile it as high as the Eiffel Tower. Load it with nuts and have a single tongue. Top it with pizza just for fun. Banana split for my baby. A glass of plain water for me. Cherries kind she likes. Skip one banana, use the whole darn bunch. Drown it with fudge, 6 or 7 cans. Give her 2 spoons, cause she'll use her hands. Banana split for my baby, and a glass of plain water for me. Separate checks, it must be. Charge it to split her water with me. Banana split for my baby, water for me. Ain't got no money, a glass of plain water for me.
Great job.
There's that twist with the chicks. Please. I like that the pizza goes on top of the sundae. That's my favorite part.
Sausage and banana pepper.
Yes, exactly. And the whipped cream as tall as the Eiffel Tower. I mean, the visual is just great on that. All right, this next one is a Catherine Russell tune that we just love. Anyone heard of Catherine Russell before? All right, yes. Everyone else? That's our homework after Bix. We're going to listen to Catherine Russell. And so many other greats that we're discovering this weekend or rediscovering. This is called Bring It Back. Bring it back. Oh, pretty babe, I need you. I don't mean baby now if you bring it back, baby. I won't sing the blues no more. I've been oh so lonely 'cause I want you only. And when you bring it back, baby, I won't sing the blues no more. Oh, well, I love you like you love me. We make a real fine pair, but there ain't nothing shaking when the dawn starts breaking. You be over here I just introduced Jamie on the keys. If you were here last night, you got to hear me talk about the perm that he rocked in the 80s and heard him play some cool rock tunes. Well, that won't happen today, but he will be playing a special tune, I think, in the next set. Well, maybe tonight. Come back later for our 9 o'clock set for a very special Bix tune from Jamie. Right here behind me on banjo and guitar, a 2-for-1, is Mr. Josh Gorman. And you've heard him on bass and vocals today. That is Mr. Blake Shaw. Rocking this cool vintage kit back here, keeping the heartbeat pumping for NOLA is Mr. Drew Salem on drums. Farthest away from me on trombone, you heard him on that first tune, well, in all of them, but featured on the first tune, Mr. Myron Peterson. In the middle, we have on a 1895 cornet today, Mr. Scott the Hat Davis. It was a very good year. Right here in the middle, the founder of NOLA Jazz Band and the organizer of all of us Rowdy Cats, also on clarinet and sometimes vocals, is Mr. Jeff Sugarcane. And I'm Abby Sawyer, and we are, again, just so delighted to be here. And we do have another set tonight at 9 o'clock, so come back and celebrate with us as we round out Bix together. What's been a great weekend. This next tune is a mashup that we just can't stay away from. This is called Long Gone John. And what else is there to say? And there's another song that we mash up with it, but you'll have to see if you recognize it. I know that there will be some people in the audience who know all the words to this song. So here we go, the mashup.
Listen to the story about a man named Jeb. Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. But then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground came some bubbling crude. Long gone from Kentucky, long gone, ain't he looking? Long gone, what I mean, long gone Jeb. Are you ready now? Well, first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kid folks said, Jed, move away from there. They said, California is the place you ought to be. So they picked up the truck and they moved to Beverly. Long gone from Kentucky, long gone, ain't he looking? Long gone, what I mean, long gone back from Bowling Green. You know this, right? You know this, right? No. All right, here we go. Last one. And now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. We would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality.